Hello and welcome to another episode of Redcast Movie and TV Talk. It's that time again, time for another video on another DC animated movie. Just one this time. On this episode I will be discussing Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. Remember, there will be spoilers. The movie starts with a young Barry Allen who comes home from school to find his mother dead, then to present day with Barry putting flowers on his mom's grave when he is called into action because of a break-in at his own museum. He gets in a fight with several villains like Captain Boomerang and Captain Cold before getting stuck to the wall. Come to find that this whole thing was orchestrated by Reverse Flash, but then the rest of the Justice League shows up to assist the Flash with the bombs that the Reverse Flash set. They all split up, taking a villain with a bomb, and attempt to disarm or dispose of them, and they succeed at this. The bad guys get apprehended and carted off, and then we get title screen. Barry then wakes up at the police department where he apparently works. The TV news mentions that Citizen Cold and Captain Boomerang are fighting each other, but when he runs out, he trips and falls and doesn't go super speed. His mom is there and tells her that he is the Flash, but she doesn't know who that is. We then go to Batman fighting Yo-Yo, but she sounds like Harley Quinn. I'm confused, but it's early in the movie. Batman gets the upper hand and ends up tossing her from the building, but Cyborg catches her. Cyborg then has a chat with Batman and mentions that they're at war with the Atlanteans and the Amazons. Okay. Again, it's early in the movie. We go back to Barry, who is still confused about why no one knows who he is. He takes a drive to Wayne Manor and finds Batman there, and this Batman isn't Bruce, but rather is his father, Thomas Wayne. We then go to Steve Trevor, who gets captured by Wonder Woman, and he says he's there to get Lois Lane because she's feeding information to Cyborg and the Resistance. Wonder Woman kills Steve Trevor with the lasso of truth. We go back to Batman and Barry uses his ring to get his outfit out, but oh my gosh, it's the Reverse Flash's outfit, but Batman agrees to help Barry. We then go to Lex and Deathstroke trying to do something on a ship. I'm not sure what, they don't actually say, but they get in a big fight with some Atlanteans. Everyone on the ship gets slaughtered, and Lex gets killed by Aquaman. Back to Batman and Barry, who are attempting to recreate the conditions of what turned Barry into the Flash in the first place. Let's just say things go very, very wrong for Barry. From there we see why the war broke out between Atlanteans and Amazon, as well Martha Wayne becoming the Joker, I think, and Superman in his ship crashing in Metropolis. Anyways, Barry is fine and tells Batman that they are going to try this again, and you know what? It works this time. We go to Lois running from Amazons and some giant three-headed beast, and Lois ends up surrounded and then saved by Resistance guys, which also includes Etrigan the Demon, but weirdly enough she was actually saved by someone very fast, but the Resistance claims they don't have any speedsters on the team. We go back to Barry and Batman, and Barry suits up but changes his suit to the original red and yellow. He goes for a run but doesn't get to the speed that he needs to at the moment. We go to some military guys and Captain Jordan, who happens to have an alien spaceship and its dead pilot, who happens to be one of the Green Lanterns, and Jordan says he will fly the ship. Back to Batman and Flash tells him that they need Superman, but Batman doesn't know who that is, and Flash says he has a new memory of Superman's ship crashing in Metropolis. They go to Metropolis, call in Cyborg, and they get him to hack into some government systems so they can attempt to find Superman. And they certainly do find Superman, but he's extremely weak and fragile. They take Superman outside, but they get surrounded and attacked by government guys, but Flash helps, but then Superman tries to help but kills several guys with his laser eyes because he's just getting used to his powers. Flash relapses and we see several events getting changed. Then we go to Jordan, who gets swallowed by a big sea creature and blows up the alien ship, which also kills him. We then have a speech from Flash saying that they're gonna go fight both the Atlanteans and Amazons, to which Batman and Cyborg agree to help, so they get into Batman's ship and they head off. Unfortunately, their plane gets taken down by the Atlanteans, then the Atlanteans and Amazons get into a huge fight, but then the Resistance shows up to add to the fight. We get a nice showdown between Wonder Woman and Aquaman, which is really cool, but their fight is interrupted when Batman, Flash, Cyborg, and the Shazam kids show up, and they get into fights with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Batman takes a hit. Barry attempts to save him, but Batman disappears, and then Reverse Flash appears, which prompts the two to get into a fight. Reverse Flash does a number on Barry. This is when Reverse Flash tells Barry that all of this is Barry's fault because he ended up going back to save his mom, and Reverse Flash isn't sure why he's the villain in this situation. We get more fighting. Aquaman beats the crap out of Cyborg, but then Superman laser eyes his arm off, but Cyborg still dies. Wonder Woman ends up killing the Shazam kids and ends up killing Aquaman too. When this happens, Aquaman's sub goes and blows up pretty badly. Reverse Flash taunts Flash more, and then an injured Batman shoots Reverse Flash and tells Flash to run. The world is basically crumbling behind the Flash, but he runs and taps into the Speed Force and finds himself who is going back to save his mom. So basically Barry stops himself from saving his own mom. He then wakes up in the police department again, and everything is fine. Flash pays a visit to Bruce Wayne Batman and tells him what happens and gives Bruce a letter that Thomas Wayne gave to Flash as he died. The movie ends with Flash doing a final run. You know, kind of like how Spider-Man always does a final swing at the end of every Spider-Man movie. So what do I personally think about this movie? Well, the first thing I want to point out is the voice cast. You have Kevin Conroy as Batman, Michael B. Jordan as Cyborg, Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan, Ron Perlman as Deathstroke, and Steve Blum as Lex Luthor, which I kind of guessed with Steve Blum because I could hear just a tiny bit of his Transformers Prime Starscream in that Lex Luthor voice. Anyway, they got a pretty good lineup here. Now, the thing with this movie I find strange is I felt like I was left very confused at the beginning of the movie, and then the payoff and explanation didn't come until the end of the movie. Now, perhaps this is part of the movie because Barry is also confused when he's in this other timeline, but like we go from young Barry to present day Barry, and then he just says to Iris that you know, he's fine and it's nothing that he can't run off. And then we're just in another timeline. Like, it was strange, and it happens so quick, and it's not until the end of the movie that I guess when Barry says to Iris that it's nothing he can run off is when he ran back in time to save his mom. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have made sense to tell us that in the beginning of the movie. I don't know, I feel like it would have made more sense if we saw him save his mom in the beginning of the movie and then show the timeline get messed up somehow. But I guess if they did that, then Barry wouldn't have any reason to suspect Reverse Flash of messing the timeline up. But I don't know how they would have suspected Reverse Flash in the first place, because he got taken away by the Justice League after they all stopped that break-in. I'm just gonna stop because now I'm starting to confuse myself. The only thing I didn't like in this movie is the character designs, which mostly comes down to the male character designs. I usually don't complain about this kind of thing in DC animated movies, but I gotta say something here. The overall male character design, it's like they have these really long legs and these big, you know, buff and super muscular chests and arms. Their faces are very jagged and squared and chiseled. And yeah, like I said, it's mostly an issue with the male characters, but I just think that they look too buff and bulky, and I don't like it that much. Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox is a good and enjoyable movie. That's all I have to say, so if you entered the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.